Okay, call this meeting to order, it's 6 o'clock, we got a full agenda. Want to make sure we call in order at 6:01. So, with that being said, we start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Monica Salinas,
Here.
Carlos Fernandez. Here. Chuy Olivares. Here. Myself, Joe Benavides. Not here. Luis Hinojosa.
Here.
Rick Laurel.
Present.
Arturo Dominguez.
Present.
Our new member, Felix J. Canales.
Present.
Roberto Figueroa, okay. David Puig.
Present.
Tony Arce. Okay. Carlos Martinez.
Here.
Jorge Cavazos, Joe Martinez. There was a change in presidency, so we'll be having Joe Martinez there in this place.
He's on his way.
Okay, he should be in a minute. Okay, Jerry Jason Hinojosa. Okay. Jerry Maldonado. Okay, now for the non-voting members. In addition to that, we have three members that are gonna be reappointed, but, they can't vote. It's gonna be Mr. Carlos Fernandez, Luis Hinojosa, and Jerry Jason, but he's not here, so. All right, non-voting members, Association of, ANLD, Juan Jose Garcia.
Here.
And then we're missing, Colombia, Eduardo Villarreal.
Oh, Present. Eduardo's here.
Okay.
Yeah, right here.
Oh, yeah, you got, okay, Colombia, go to front. Pedro Felipe. All right. Enrique Moran Romero. All right, just, for the record, we have, Joe Benavides here.
All right, sir.
Great. All right. That being said, roll call done. Moving right along, public comments. We have one public comment. You have 3 minutes to speak. Jose L. Ceballos.
Good afternoon, commissioners, board members, everybody that's here. So you don't have the item on the agenda, but I did not want to miss the opportunity, just in case it got added on the agenda, to discuss this topic. I'm sure some of you have viewed back the workshop related to the bridge toll rate study that the city is undertaking. And I happen to sit on the TERS board with Mr. Mata, and I have a lot of appreciation for him personally and for his work. And I think at the end of it all, we're gonna come up with a good product that works for everyone. But I do have some concerns over the timeliness of anything that reflects an increase in rates. I think Mr. Maldonado did a great job to express why we would want to be involved and participate in being strategic in any update in toll rates. I oversee the Embarcadero Industrial Park, which is right in the middle of World Trade Corridor. So anything that impacts bridges is gonna impact our tenants. It's gonna impact indirectly or directly impact us. So the market conditions right now, we're gonna see it probably this quarter. We're gonna get a report over what our warehouse occupancy rate is gonna look like, right? I think if you do a Google search, it's gonna tell you that it's probably over 10%, when in the past we've seen it a nominal 1 or 2%. Mr. Maldonado spoke about his expertise in trucking, and that's reflected also in public stories about companies that are struggling, right, to make ends meet in a market that has tremendous uncertainty, that is not just regional, right? It's almost entirely national and global. So really my comments are to encourage you all to be engaged and consider us a resource there at Fasken and at the Embarcadero Industrial Park to help the city and to help you all as this study comes to you, to bring back a product that city council can look at and that we feel is going to work for industry. Market conditions in this sector, not just trucking or not just logistics in general, just trade, relates back to a marketing strategy, right? And that marketing strategy is reflected usually by the region, not just the city. And those of you that have been doing trade for a long time can understand that. So it's important that we not, as the study maybe has got a pitfall there, I think it looks at the city in isolation. We need to think regionally, and the impact needs to be measured regionally. How cities set rates, bridge toll rates reflects how they operate as a city, how they operate as a port. We operate based on volume, and it's important that folks at the city really relate that back to how they're gonna succeed also in trying to raise fees for things that they're gonna do. The last aspect that I'll comment on, because I think I'm gonna run out of time, is really the general fund transfer. It's an important piece, right? If the bridge is generating a certain amount of monies, it's important to try to keep as much as we can for bridge projects. And as you ask questions, as you get the study presented to you, take a look at the projects that are being proposed. I would say, let's look at the 225 million that are listed as projects. Let's look closely at the 150 between World Trade Bridge and Columbia Bridge, and look at what that entails and which projects are delineated there. So those are basically my comments, is really to ask you all to stay engaged and to also see us as a resource again. Anything we can do to help as a board for you all, we'd be happy to support you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weiss. Thank you, Mr. Weiss.
We have a second comment as well. I don't wanna butcher your name, but, Ayala? Can you state your name for a second? Yeah.
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Angela Piakurel. I'm from Nepal, so last name is very complicated. So I'm representing RISC, Rio Grande International Study Center. Rio Grande International Study Center. I'm working as a project manager in one of my projects is Binational Community Air Monitoring Project, which we are doing in Laredo and Nove Laredo, Los Dos Laredo. With that, I'm here to invite you all on behalf of RISC Binational Air Council, I'm here to invite you all for our upcoming air quality workshop. Air has no border and neither should the solution. Together with me, I have a colleague, Mr. Edwin and Ms. Jen Williams. She came all the way from California for this workshop. She's our expert speaker, and she she's an executive director for the CCAT. Communities in California against air toxic. So as you all know, over the past 1 year, we have installed the locust air sensor in 19 locations in Laredo. With this one, we have a data whatever we are getting online in RISC website. If you want to get there, it's open in bilingual and open to public also. It's free. And other than that, we with this project we have another main goal where we are trying to aware the community, raise the awareness in the community about the air quality and all those issues. So we have created a binational air council with the executive committee in Laredo and Nove Laredo. And in Laredo, we have some academia, we have some from public health, we have some community members, and I would like to invite one of you representing the industry so you can bring your perspective in this binational air council where we can save for our future, and it's good for all of us. And same in Nove Laredo also, we have a small community there. Other than that, this is our second in-person workshop. We did one in June 7, 2025, and this second workshop is kind of a milestone for me because 1 year project, it's a pure scientific research project, will be done in 1 year, and we have a data for whatever it says for 1 year. And like with that, this is the end of phase 1, but we are not stopping there. We are going to step into the next phase, which will be installing more air sensors, in adding more 35 air sensors. That will be locust air sensor in communities, and that will be measuring PM 2.5 both in Laredo and Nove Laredo. And like there will be 4 HICUS air sensor which will be measuring black carbon. That is also for community awareness. So we would like to invite you all, and like I come every time to update you about the workshop and invite you for all my work. Whatever I'm doing, every month I do a webinars where I bring experts from across the country. So community over here understand what is air quality, what are their perspective, how they are working with that one. I have done every month, almost I have 7, 8 webinars already. So with the hope we will work together in phase 2 because industry is big part of the community, so I want you to be here.
Thank
Yes.
you, Angela. Angela, we have a 3-minute limit. I think you're
Sure,
right there.
okay, sure. With that, I would like to invite all to be here once again. It will be on January 24th, Saturday, upcoming Saturday, at Falcon Event Center from 9 to 12, and in Nuevo Laredo, it will be from 3 to 6. Either or can participate in both also. In Nuevo Laredo, it will be at University of Tamaulipas.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you so
Thank you for coming.
much. Yeah, thank you for having me here. I will just distribute the flyer with you guys. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, right now we have 2 individuals that came in, also, Enrique Moran Romero, he's here, and also I see Joe sat in the back, I don't know, there's a spot for him, or he just sits back in the back. Joe Martinez for Luzla, replacing Jorge Cavazos.
You can sit up here, no, sit behind.
Back in the.
Thank you.
And, all right, moving right along. We got the approval, the minutes,
Motion to approve. Second.
Pedro Dominguez. Abel. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion passes. All right, moving forward to the items of discussion. Update regarding World Trade Bridge progress and any other matters incident thereto.
Good evening. I'm Sid Milkey with Structural Engineering Associates. I'm the
Very good.
senior project manager for this project, and I'm pretty familiar with World Trade Bridge over the years. So it's been a few months since I presented to your group, and I think I got a lot of good information to pass on. That project is moving forward pretty well. Just wanted to bring back a little history for everybody. This is the World Trade Bridge in 2021. You can see everybody coming northbound, and all the lanes are full. Not all of them were open, but many are full. And we didn't have a lot of the things that we have today that were improvements between then and now. I wanted to point out, if you will, that the green star, that's a crown jewel, I think, for World Trade Bridge, in that it is the only direct fast lane on an international bridge right now. It comes, the lane right now comes right off the bridge, comes directly from Mexico. It goes right out to I-69W. There are no exit booths on this lane. There will be some MEPs later, but right now it's a direct pathway out. I don't think there's another one like this in the country. So it's a really good improvement for throughput in the port of entry. All the fast trucks don't have to mix with everybody else. The first red box below that, CBP has taken the previous pedestrian processing building and turned it into a technology building. I believe that's where they have a lot of monitoring that's going on for the non-invasive inspections, and also possibly for the security of the site. The big brown box there is a second kennel, which was built by CBP some years ago, which allows more dogs to be used at the port. And then the two arrows, red arrows, those are two MEP units. Multi-energy portal units. I'm probably talking to the choir today, but those allow the trucks to pass through at 10 miles an hour and not stop. The driver does not have to get out. It's an intelligent portal in that it knows when the tractor goes through, low voltage, low energy. It switches to high energy when the trailer goes through, and it also records various components about the truck, so that when it gets to the primary, a decision potentially has already been made whether or not to send the truck back to the dock to be devanned, to go through further inspection, to go through another MEP unit or other inspection that way. Or the whole idea is that more trucks can go through this process and they can be turned loose and go directly to the exit control booth. The purpose of that is to increase throughput as well. So those things that are already in place now, and the really the culmination of those projects are the expansion of our project here. The World Trade Bridge expansion project. The red bridge that does not exist now will be an 8-lane bridge coming with all commercial traffic, non-fast. So all of fast is gonna remain on the existing bridge, but we'll have 8 lanes of non-fast traffic entering directly into into the MEPs and then directly into the primary. The black S-curve there, which is common to ports of entry that have been designed since the 80s, I guess. That road will stay there, but it's only gonna be an interior access road. Trucks will not be able, when you be using that road, they'll come directly into the pre-primary area, the pre-MEP area. We're also adding 2 more lanes southbound to the existing bridge, and we will then convert the existing bridge to 2 lanes northbound fast directly into the new fast lane. There will be 8 lanes southbound directly into the Federal Port of Entry, and we'll have 8 non-fast lanes in the new bridge directly into the primary area. So what we have done so far, progress that we've done so far, we got our environmental project kicked off way back in 2023. We did a VE value engineering study. Also in 2023, we conducted our initial public meeting for the project for the environmental clearance process in April of 2024. We finally got the presidential permit issued on May 31st, 2024. We made several conceptual submittals to IBWC over this period of time. The last one being just last week, which we believe is the final one. We have a 100% draft EA document it's already been finally reviewed by TxDOT and Federal Highways. And we just last week received comments from Federal Highways. TxDOT and our consultant are going over those comments as we speak to hopefully create the final draft document that can then be advertised to the public and public can see it at that point once it's approved for that. Construction plans and estimates, PS&E we call it. With TxDOT, we've gone through the 100%, which was submitted in September, and we have all the comments back from TxDOT, and we made those recommendation changes. We have one more submittal, which we're calling final, which will be done next month. Then also we brought in and started the donation acceptance program project. The application was submitted in February of last year, and we've been working monthly and weekly with the donation acceptance group, or the DAP team, we call them DAP, to develop that project. And I don't think I have it in here, but I'm gonna go back. Anything inside the federal, well, I can't point it out on here, I don't think. Anything within the Federal Port of Entry, which is the tie-in of the bridge, has to go through the donation acceptance program. So most of it is standard transportation construction, concrete paving, embankment, fencing, striping, lighting, things of that nature. That's pretty simple. It's included in our PS&E that TxDOT has been reviewing. There is a component of this project for the DAP that is not standard. Most of that includes moving the pre-read equipment for the MEP units from where they exist today in that black cross S-curve road to right in front of the MEP units. CBP unfortunately didn't make that decision until October of this last year, so we're scrambling to revise our plans, our PS&E plans, and also revise our DAP application to the federal government right now, to asking them to accept 2 construction contracts. One, so we'll stay on our schedule for the main construction, which is going to be monitored by TxDOT. The other one is to bring in the specialty equipment, it's proprietary equipment that is developed by the people who develop the MEP units. So we've been in contact with them. We have a scope and a fee proposal from them to do that work, but also includes adding closed circuit TV cameras to monitor the new bridge, monitor the new gate, monitor the MEP pre-read area. So we're working on that. We have a meeting next week with that specific group here in the port. So we're moving on many sides now. What's going on right now? We made our submittal of our Corps of Engineers permit back in October. We have not heard anything, and we're checking right now to find out what the status is. We believe that might have got caught up in the partial government shutdown that occurred last year. We knew we got it in before. We knew they were reviewing it, but we never got any response back last year, so we're working on getting that information. As mentioned, we did make what we hope is our final submittal to IBWC last week. We've gone through several iterations because IBWC decided that a one-dimensional HEC-RAS model, they wanted a two-dimensional HEC-RAS model, and that took us some time and effort to revise our model. We also had some requests from our Mexican sponsor to adjust the profile grade of the new bridge. So we had to go back, and that didn't affect the HEC-RAS models to speak about, but we did have to run it again. And then we've got updated all our plans to accommodate that change in elevation and also any new high water elevations that came out of the HEC-RAS study. HEC-RAS is a hydraulic program that tells you where the water level is and if the river moves and things of that nature. So our program shows that there's no change to the river, there's no minimal change to the flood elevation. Everything should be good, but also IBWC has been working, not from their offices necessarily, they're still, as a result of COVID, we're still trying to maintain contact with them even though they're not necessarily working in their offices in El Paso. As I mentioned earlier, we did get our comments for the 100% draft EA document on the 12th last week. Revisions are ongoing to the document. TxDOT is actually reviewing it in detail. We're working real closely with TxDOT for this on the project, and we're hoping to maintain most of that schedule relating to this document. Targeting to submit next week our Coast Guard application. We have the document prepared. I have 2 exhibits I have to prepare to attach to it, and then we'll be sending that along with the draft EA document to Coast Guard for their initial review. And that's going to be an official submittal. We do, believe it or not, we do have to get a Coast Guard permit for this bridge, even though even the Border Patrol can't get up and down on their airboats very well. The target for public notice, we have adjusted this, and I want to mention too that I forgot to mention earlier, things that are in bold are things that have been updated recently. So this target, this draft for public notice for the 100% EA document has been moved back slightly. It was targeted to start having a public notice last week, but we did not get our comments from Federal Highways at that time. So we're pushing it back a little bit into February. We don't believe that's going to cause any problems overall, but just want to make sure everybody's aware of the thing that changed.
I'm sorry, could you explain what that really means, target public notice period? What does that
Okay,
mean in plain
the
English?
process we're following the National Environmental Policy Act, which was established sometime in the 70s, I think 1976. That means we have to study a bunch of environmental things through the project, with the culmination of that being either an environmental assessment for a project this size or an EIS, an environmental impact statement. But we're moving forward with an environmental assessment as agreed to by Federal Highways. The studies have to be done, which I've reported on. We've done, we have to look at the biology, we looked at traffic, noise, all of these different things. We had to send divers in the river to find the endangered mussels. All of those things are done, and they're compiled into the environmental assessment document. That's the official environmental clearance document. It goes through several stages along the way. When we first compiled a document per se, last year it was called a 60% draft. Once we completed all the studies in September of this year, it became a 90% draft. After review of that, it converted to 100%, but it's still called a draft. And it's not committed, it's not sent to the public, it's only under review by the Federal Highway Administration. The rules of the NEPA, of the Environmental Clearance Policy Act, say that we have to then, once everybody's reviewed it internally and they decide it's a complete document, so to speak, then we have to offer it to the public for them to be able to read it at their leisure for, I believe, 30 days. So the next step, once we get our revisions made from the comments that we just received from Federal Highways, is to publish a notice to the public and saying that this document is now available for them to see, to read, and it describes how they can obtain copies. And I think possibly nowadays with electronics being what they are, they can be posted to a specific website for them to read. And maybe a hard copy is kept here at City Hall. So that's the next step for the environmental clearance. Once that's published, and any comments that might have been out there are really, it's not a time for comment either. It's just that this is the document, it exists. Then, when everybody's satisfied, the next step is to advertise or notice that the document has been deemed complete, the public has seen it, and offer it the opportunity to the public to have a public hearing. So what we're gonna do is there's an acronym, notice in a OPH, opportunity of public hearing. If less than, don't quote me on this, but there less a certain number of people ask for the public hearing, we don't have to have a public hearing. We're basing our procedure based on the fact that we had minimal public participation at the public meeting that we held, which was an open house style several years ago. So we're thinking we probably will not have many comments from the public. Then we can go to close the document. Once the document is closed, Federal Highways is complete. All the documents that say you advertised for a public hearing, nothing was done, and all that paperwork goes together in the document. Then Federal Highways can write the finding of no significant impact, the FONSI. And so that's the key document that turns loose of a lot of final permits. It will turn loose of TxDOT to be able to consider the project for letting. And so that's kind of the main key. Environmental clearance on this project and all international bridge projects that I've been involved in has always been the critical path up to the FONSI. So we have a target of May for that issuance of the FONSI. We're going to do our best right now. We're running a little behind, as I mentioned, but we're going to do our best to try to hold that date of May for the FONSI. And I think I have that in the next slide.
Thank you for that clarification.
You're welcome. It's believe me, it's a learning experience. I don't remember all those
The
names.
language there is a little
Yeah,
confusing, so
Yes,
thank you.
yes, it confuses me even today. Getting back to the easy part, as I tell everybody, the easy part of these projects are doing the plans. So the plans, the specifications, and the estimate, the PS&E as TxDOT calls them, we plan to submit our final set to them next month on the 23rd. And then we may have a round of revisions, we may not. But then that'll trigger a lot of other things they have to do and we have to do as far as identifying any right-of-way that has to be purchased. We'll already have it identified, but we'll have to certify that it's being ongoing, that utilities are ongoing to be relocated. And the whole intent is to get their approval to go to bids. So we plan to submit that next month. Getting back to the DAP project, we've already submitted a 30% submittal to DAP, which is what I call the brick and mortar, the paving, the fencing, all of that. And we plan on separating it into two sets of plans now, and they'll be reviewing the TxDOT DAP with us calling out specifically what's in the federal government property versus all the other part of the project. And for them to do that, and so right now we're setting a target for the DAP project phase 1, which is the main part of the project, which is also the regular construction, submit 60, 90, and 100% to GSA CBP on those dates shown. Those are our target review dates. I don't anticipate a lot of review or comments from them because those are standard things that they see and hear about every day. The other part of the project, phase 1A, the special systems, that's going to take us a little more time, and that's why we're trying to get CBP to agree to doing 2 construction phases under one donation acceptance agreement. so that they can go at different timelines. They don't have to start together physically, but they need to be completed at the same time, so. And the next thing that we just happened this month is, we began a series of teleconferences with Border Patrol. We had one yesterday. We have another one coming up on Friday. Yesterday's meeting was to talk with the North Laredo Sector Office, who is the agents that are out there on the site doing the patrolling every day. Our purpose was to show them where we wanted to provide a permanent pathway through the site, and there will also be a temporary construction pathway through the site while we're building the bridge, so that their officers can come down and do their job just as they do today. But hopefully they'll actually have a little better roadway to do that. And it was well received. We still want to have an on-site meeting, walk it with them. And but everybody on the U.S. Border Patrol side was very excited. So we think we're moving forward with that pretty well. Friday's meeting is going to be talking with the folks who are doing the border fence. And our main concern there is, my indication is they're not going to build a fence at World Trade Bridge right now. It's not talking about anywhere else. I'm just focusing on World Trade Bridge.
Correct.
So I'm going to sit down with them first in a virtual conference and say, here's what our project is. If we can, do you have any plans to build a fence in there in the next 2 years? Hopefully the answer is no. If it's yes, we'll go in a different tack. But if it's no, we're in good. And then we move on from there. But they'll be advised what we're going to do. They'll know where we're going to be building the bridge, so that they can take that into account in any of the planning they're doing in this region. I know that the border fence is a big political issue right now in Laredo and other parts all up and down the border. So I think it's critical that we make this contact now. Hopefully we will be able to work out any issues that there may be at World Trade Bridge and move on down the road and stay on our timeline.
If they say yes, will they create additional delays or no?
Depends on where they want to build it. If they're going to build it right down the middle of where our bridges are going to be, I'm not going to say it's going to create any delays. I'm hoping we can work a deal with them to where maybe you can delay it a little bit and let us build that northbound bridge, and then the other bridge is there, so they're going to have to go under us. Or we can work with them to say, build it up to here, build it down to here, and you can build it in the middle and maybe finish that last piece under the bridges when we're done.
In conversations that we have, if I may, we've had with the city management and the mayor, they are gonna hold off and allow the bridge to finish and not intervene in a way that it will delay us or cost, or build something that needs to be removed. So that's hoping that was the conversation.
We're hoping
So,
that's the answer
hoping
that we
that's
get.
still what you're gonna
Unofficially,
get.
that's kind of what I've heard through the grapevine as well, that they're gonna hold off in the area of the World Trade Bridge, and then it can be decided how they wanna.
Once
But the
they're
other
done.
thing it's gonna be critical for us to talk with them about is identify where access is gonna be needed when they do build a fence.
Exactly.
Because their officers need to get down into the river bottom. The city of Laredo is gonna need to maintain the hazmat vault on the existing bridge. That we're building a new hazmat vault on the new bridge, so all that has to be maintained. So there's gonna be access gate, if you will, needed to do that maintenance. That's gonna be easy for all parties to get in and out of. So we wanna work with them to make sure that can be done in their planning for the fence too. So it's moving forward. What we're looking at in the coming months, as I mentioned, our timeline has said for many, many months now, the tentative date of publishing the FONSI. That means that Federal Highways puts a publication in the Congressional Register that this FONSI has been completed. It's there, it's available for public review. No comment, no, that's it, they're done. After if nobody says anything about a public hearing, there's no more public comment. And everybody I think wants this project, so it's not a controversial project. So I don't see that's an issue, but we have set it May the 5th for a long time. We're gonna hold that as best we can, if we possibly can. We may have to push it back a little bit. We're gonna do our best to make that date. I know our TxDOT partners, they're working with us hand in glove. So we've had a real good relationship up to now, and they're really stepping forward to help us get to that timeline. I mean, they've raised their hand and said, hey, you're getting close, and we say, yes, but let's keep going, and they've agreed. The donation acceptance agreement which is the agreement that, the city and the federal government will execute, which basically outlines what you're gonna build in the federal property, and that you're gonna donate it to them, and any other particulars that need to be stated about that. We can't just build something and give it to the federal government. That's not allowed. It's too simple. We did this, the city did this with the fast lane. There was a donation acceptance agreement established, agreed to, signed, passed by council, city attorney's office. Everybody has to review it and approve it. And then we've worked through it, we finished it, and it has to be done. And so this is, we're saying we're gonna be May to August to get that document finalized, reviewed, and we want to have all our plans essentially complete by that time so that the federal government can write their documents, put their exhibits together in that agreement. Other improvements, receiving other permits and approvals to bid. Those include the Corps of Engineers, the U.S. Coast Guard permit, the final approval of IBWC, a license agreement of IBWC, and it also includes a state letter of authority to go to bids from TxDOT, and a federal, it's FPAA, I can't remember what that acronym means, but it's their approval to go to bids as well. So we would like to have all of those in our hands by mid-August. What that does, if all the approvals are in place, then we can actually prepare we'll have it prepared, the public notice of the bidding date to the contractors. We will publish the notice, say, hey, we're gonna accept bids on this date for this project, plans are available. We'll have a pre-bid meeting at this date, this location, and then the normal process starts. And right now we're targeting a bid opening date of October 22nd. And then once the bids are opened, the process is we review it as your consultant. We submit our recommendation to the city, and simultaneously a recommendation is submitted to TxDOT. TxDOT reviews that recommendation. If they're in agreement, they authorize the city to award it, and the city council will award it in their normal process. And we're hoping that we can have that award done by the end of December of this calendar year, and issue a notice to proceed for the contractor, for whoever the low bidding contractor is, for January. So our construction phase right now is set up to go from January the 6th of next year through May the 30th of 2028. And there are 3 phases. And this is another thing that's kind of moved as time goes on. We've always had phase 1 and 2. Phase 1 is the northbound bridge. We believe about 9 months is needed to do that one. It's pretty straightforward. January 6th through 9/30 of 27. Phase 2 is widening the existing bridge, and that one doesn't take that long, 5 months to do that. It's mostly going to be traffic control, but we need to finish the new bridge, move all of the northbound traffic, except for the fast, to the new bridge, have all that traffic operational, have all of our MEP units operational, everything has to be working. Then we can take some lanes away from southbound and widen the existing bridge in the southbound direction. And then the last phase is just to do some rehab work on the existing bridge to make it last much longer. And that needs to be, we have to finish phase 2, open up all the lanes on the existing bridge, and then we'll be moving like 2 lanes of detours at a time back and forth to repair the deck. We'll put new striping. We have some other things that we've identified that need to be done. So that's the construction phase. And essentially that's where we are today. Everything, I like to say, a year ago we were still moving up the hill. Now we're moving down the hill. And now we just have to make sure that people aren't throwing rocks in front of the truck that's going down the hill, and keep everybody moving together. So you can see there's a lot of pieces that are moving. We're doing our best to keep everybody online. And, once we do get the funds and those final permits, the rest, the construction, the bidding, all of that, we do that all the time. Been doing it for many years, so. Hopefully by the end of this year, we'll have real good news and we'll start construction. Floor is open for any questions anybody may have.
Are you working and collaborating with the Mexican government as well to make sure that they're following their times?
Absolutely. We're actually having monthly meetings with them now. The state of Tamaulipas, they have their counterpart, which is SUMA. The last 3 months, we have been rapidly exchanging information on a weekly basis. We just had a meeting with them yesterday. We went through some final reviews of the girders on their side. Typically, in the past, we would do we did the design for the whole bridge. So we know with the US standards, with TxDOT standards, what the bridge would look like and what it needed to have as far as girders, strand, and everything. They essentially agree with us on most of it, but they do different design methods, and they include seismic loads that we don't include on the US side. So they have some things that are a little different. They have more rebar, they treat their girders a little differently as far as the pre-stressing strands, and those are the details we're working out right now. They tell us they're ready to go. We'll see. But we're trying to coordinate the last meeting that we had in person, I believe, with them back in, well, a meeting we had right before Thanksgiving, in person with the Director of Public Works and the Director of Infrastructure for the state of Tamaulipas. While they say they're ready to go earlier, they did agree that it would be better if we start our bridge work over the river at the same time. They have a lot of other work to do as part of their concession renewal agreement. So it's not only for them, it's not only the international bridge. It is other work on Highway 2, other work on the bypass around Nuevo Laredo to improve traffic getting into World Trade Bridge. And they've shown us, a while back, they showed us several of the projects that they have in their concession agreement that was submitted to SICT a year ago, a year and some months ago. And that's it's an internal issue that they have to get through. They have to get that concession agreement approved, and they have to get their SELA, which is IBWC counterpart, approval for the bridge as well. So we're trying to work as closely with them as possible. Yes, sir.
I have a question. What is the length of the new bridge? And what percentage of the bridge you build and what percentage of the bridge the Mexican government does? What is the estimated length?
You're gonna ask me that question off the top of my head. Give me a second. Okay, 1, 2, 5. The Mexican bridge on the Mexican
But the
side of the
northbound
new bridge,
the 8 lane, the one that you're just.
that
the
one
brand new
is approximately 550 feet of the bridge from the Mexican abutment to the river, to the center of the river. Ours is longer because we're trying to do several things. We wanted to flare out. We tried to get outside of the floodplain for the high water flood. So I don't know if anybody remembers a presentation I made a little over a year ago. We had a retaining wall and we had a shorter bridge. Right now our bridge is 800, 420, 540, 600, about 610 feet on the US side for the new bridge.
So you measure from the middle of the river to one side, the middle of the river to the other side?
Yes,
how it works?
that's the measurement, give or take 10 feet.
Okay.
But there is a span over that border line. And that span is 100 feet long right now. The border is not necessarily in the center, but we call that the international span. The plan is for both parties, Mexico and the US, to include that as an additive alternate to the bids, both on the US side and on the Mexican side. So all of our contractors will bid that as an additive alternate. Then the two parties, being the city of Laredo and the state of Tamaulipas, will compare. And for all of them at the same time, whoever is the cheapest will build that span over the international boundary. That's if everything works good, and it has worked that way before. So that's what we're going to try to do. Typically then, the other sponsor that did not build it reimburses the other sponsor the 60%, 40%, whatever the percentage is for the part that's in the US as an after-the-fact reimbursement.
What's the cost of our side, Sid?
Oh, now you're asking me questions I didn't bring information on. We do have cost estimates, we have update, I need to make another update again this coming month. The bridge, the whole project, or just
The US side.
the US side?
Estimate.
We won't hold you to it.
Both, all phases, including the DAP work, I believe is somewhere around 34 million. That's all phases, that's northbound bridge, expansion of the southbound bridge, rehabilitation, and the DAP work, which, some of that's fairly expensive for those pre-read units.
This is mostly all in concrete.
Most of it's concrete, drill shafts, yes, sir. The vast bulk of it is concrete and reinforcing steel and putting it in place.
So one of the key points, I mean, I've been discussing on the monthly meetings, right, and, with the Mexico government, or with the Tamaulipas government was, they say they are ready, right? And they would like to start the building or the construction at the last quarter of this year, right? Instead, January 2027. With the updates and all the stuff we have been seeing, and thank you for the updates. Do you think we're gonna be able to push back a little bit that January to end of this year? To start
My
construction
personal opinion is, and I can't speak for the state of Tamaulipas, but in my personal opinion is, I think it's gonna be in all of our benefit to coordinate the start of the construction. Just because it makes things, better during the construction.
Absolutely.
It doesn't, to me, and I know what, the governor wants to inaugurate the project before he leaves office, okay? That's the unspoken
That's a
thing.
fact.
That's the fact right there.
I
So,
didn't say that, but that's.
no, that's the fact. And so, and I understand that.
Yeah.
And we think it's gonna be close. Definitely, we could have a big event to even, to me, and I'm just talking off the top of my head. Phase one, northbound bridge, that is the enchilada for this project. This makes everything work. So to me, if we can finish that early in 2027, like we planned, both sides, open it, to me, that's the celebration date. The other part, widening the southbound bridge, that happens, yes, we need it, but that's not what sets everything in motion. So that's what I've privately urged our counterparts in Mexico to consider when they're talking to the governor, so that maybe we can consider getting it together with us. Again, can't control what they do. They could start tomorrow if they have all the approvals, so.
Yeah, and part of the question is not because the government wants to put the remote. It's as I mentioned before, the industry in Mexico, we have a good projection for the second half of the year, of this year, and especially for 2027. So we are expecting to grow to a certain level. We want to be creating a bigger bottleneck on this bridge. Right? So that's why we are pushing from the Index National, right, to try to push to finish this bridge as fast as possible, right, because we want to need it for the export from Mexico. That's why we are trying to do as much as we can, right, and try to give you the support you need with the federal authorities here in the U.S. to try to get the permits and regulations and all the things you need to get done before it starts.
We don't disagree, and that's why we've targeted as fast as we can get phase one done. To us, that is what provides that additional throughput and additional northbound processing capacity to our counterpart, our folks at CBP in the port of entry. And so that's what we're focusing on. That's what we've spent all our time trying to design that bridge so it can be built as fast as possible, and it's as flexible as possible as well.
Thank you.
So, again, I can't speak for the state of Tamaulipas, but I'm hoping that we can work together over the next couple of months to help get everything in line for a similar bid opening date, Mexico and US, and a similar bridge completion date on the Mexico and US side for phase one.
Phase one, absolutely.
Is there any talks with CBP to create more primary loops for that bridge,
That's
the northbound?
not that they've mentioned to me.
Not that they mentioned.
I personally believe there is actually a model that our Mexican counterpart did that models the traffic flow through this port of entry today, or last year actually. We used last year's numbers. We used the time it took for the trucks to come up to the primary, how long it took to process through the primary. This is pre-MEP too. So at that time, all the trucks were not going through any NII inspection. All of that decision was being done at the primary. And it looks like this photo right here. It's all backed up, and it actually backs up all the way into Mexico on the high time of the day. When you implement the MEP, even though there's 4, it's taking 2 lanes into one MEP unit. Assuming all of those trucks go through the MEP units for NII inspection, then the time it takes at the primary goes to a minute or 2. It's just a matter of the truck to pull in, be identified in the computer as the one that's there. The officer looks at the computer and says, okay, you have to do this. And we're hoping that most of that will be able to go to exit control. Versus now, they're having to stop, be looked at, the decision is made. And before the MEPs were there, they had to be circled around to go through the other NII units, and that created a huge traffic jam. The model shows that the traffic jam goes away, and it shows that processing is not completely eliminated for stacking up, but it's a lot faster, and that you're able to process more vehicles per day as a result of the implementation of all the things that I showed on the screen today. So that's the goal. Wow. I keep saying, I think, we're talking 8,000 or 9,000 trucks a day northbound. I think we can go well over that when all of this is implemented, especially with the NII. And who knows what kind of NII technology is going to come up 2 years from now. So, but the faster we can get the trucks to the primary, the less time it takes to make a decision on what to do with them, the faster they can go out and get up. Now, we create another problem on I-35 and I-69W that has to be addressed. So we're not talking about that. I'm not talking about that as part of my project, but we're throwing more trucks out. And that's our goal, is to put it as fast as we can through.
Will you be presenting the Columbia one also?
I'll be helping with my other team members here, yes.
Let's move forward. The next agenda item, the Columbia update regarding Columbia Bridge progress. Does anybody have any other questions before we move on?
Thank you.
Thanks, Sid.
You're welcome.
Update regarding Columbia Bridge progress and any other matters incident here thereof.
There we go.
Good evening, committee. I'm Melissa Montemayor. I am with LJ Engineering, and I'm one of your deputy project managers on the Columbia Solidarity Bridge widening. So, you heard Sid, they're kind of in the meat, kind of towards the tail end of their project. So we're on the upward slope of our project. So I'm going to start with, so Sid is on our team, on the LJA team.
Use the arrows.
There we go.
There you go.
It's just the little click button.
That's okay, yeah.
So he'll start the presentation, and then Baltasar is with LJA Engineering as well, and so we'll kind of tag team the presentation. Sid.
Thank you. Yeah, for the record, I'm Sid Milkey with SEA again. Oop, went the wrong way. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Again, I'm gonna start with this is, too many. This is Columbia as it exists today. We have one bridge. We have 8 lanes, 4 lanes northbound, 4 lanes southbound. And this is a pretty typical day. You can see that although this may be in the morning or right in the afternoon, because there's a lot of non-commercial traffic coming in from Mexico, and then there's 2 lanes of commercial traffic coming out, and it has to go around that S-curve, just like at World Trade Bridge. Now there's 8 primaries, I believe. So again, this S-curve is what slows everybody down. So our proposal here is twofold, actually. We plan to build one bridge to the south, which is similar to what we're doing at World Trade Bridge. This one is only going to be 4 lanes wide, and I'll get to the numbers in a minute, but it's going to take 4 lanes of traffic, non-fast, across northbound, and again, directly from what Mexico's gonna build a new toll booth on their side and go directly to our primary. We will have to do some work with the NII as well as the MEP units because they're down on the S curve. We'll have to do some work there, and we haven't got to that point yet. The other thing though is to build another 4-lane bridge upstream just barely, and that will be for southbound traffic. The idea is to give us those two main bridges as the primary commercial traffic lanes, which will allow us to take the existing bridge and to do a lot of different things with it. In the end result, when these bridges will be built, we're hoping to have at least one, maybe two fast lanes, and hopefully, right in the beginning, they'll have to make the S curve, but the booths nearest to the left, if you will, are the fast lanes already. So that will be a straight shot, but that'll be almost a straight shot for fast. And then we can have non-commercial in the middle. We can have over width on that bridge, but we'll have 8 lanes to move traffic around on the existing bridge. And it can be flexible too. It can be moved. If the bus traffic picks up, we can have bus lanes, that type of thing. So the idea is to get 2 new commercial bridges, separate the bulk of the commercial traffic, which should improve throughput through the port in both directions and keep everything from bottling up in the middle. These are the numbers. The new northbound bridge is proposed to be 1,400 feet long, 56 feet wide. And this is 4 travel lanes plus a shoulder for safety for first responders to get out on the bridge. Travel lanes, again, 4 12-foot lanes. Again, as mentioned, it'll line up with new toll booths on the Mexican side and directly into the primary booths, pre-primary on the US side. Southbound bridge is a little bit shorter because of topography there, 1,300 feet long by 56 feet wide as well. 4 travel lanes, 1 shoulder. The shoulder will be on the inside, again, for safety and first responders. And again, aligned up from the toll booth on the US side into the primary on the Mexican side.
The existing bridge will be commercial traffic too? Because there's a northbound and a southbound. What happens to the existing bridge?
We're intending to keep the fast lanes on the existing bridge, keeping the over width loads on the existing bridge. But the rest of the traffic will be non-commercial. So non-commercial will remain there. We hope we'll have more capacity for non-commercial. But right now, there are quite a few over width loads and over height loads that come through Columbia.
Yes,
So we want to keep those in the middle.
Thank you.
And it just makes sense.
We need the gates.
And we also
US
want,
side.
ideally, if I had all the basket of money in my pocket tomorrow and I could donate to the federal government, I'd build another fast lane, actually have it World Trade, like Columbia. But I don't have that money. But that's the idea of keeping the fast on the existing bridge too. Although it will work just fine coming around the S curve by itself in the future.
Thank you, Sid. So we also have a presidential permit for the Columbia Solidarity expansion. We applied for the permit on November 14th of 2024. And then by June 13th of 2025, we received the presidential permit from the White House. So the presidential permit, sorry, I hit the wrong button there. So presidential permits that have been issued kind of in the last couple of rounds have different articles, and those are requirements in the presidential permit of the project. So the one that I have outlined is Article 8, and I think that's the one that really drives the donation acceptance proposal. That's the DAP. And as a reminder, so within that DAP and the process of the DAP, one of the main components is that we have to prove to the federal government that our project is not going to impose upon them any cost. So it's not going to impose any costs on operations, their federal staffing in terms of salary, overtime, benefits, operations and maintenance. So that's what we have to prove in that donation acceptance proposal, and that's what we're getting started on very soon. And then you'll see some other articles there, but the primary one that drives the DAP is that Article 8. In terms of our overall project timeline, so this past summer, right after we got the presidential permit issued in June, we hosted an interagency work group with all of our federal agencies. We had a wonderful participation. It was a virtual meeting. We had about maybe 30 people online that were from federal agencies, the Department of State, federal, FHWA, FMCSA, GSA, CBP. So a really well attended meeting. On the process side, so we were able to get this project federalized rather rapidly. So as Sid was talking about earlier on the federalization and how important it is, so that you can have a project sponsor to review the NEPA documentation, the environmental documentation. So we were able to attain $1 million of federal funds from the Webb County City of Laredo Regional Mobility Authority, the RMA. So they approved $1 million to be allocated to the Columbia Solidarity Project. After that, we were able to put that in the Laredo MPO's TIP. And so that TIP was amended to add those federal funds on Columbia Solidarity. So that also gets it simultaneously approved on the MTP. The MTP is the MPO's long-range plan, 25-year plan. So that, all happened last fall of 2025. If you go forward in the timeline into next year, by this time, by about a month from now, we hope to start that DAP process. Then we'll also execute that interlocal agreement between the RMA and the City of Laredo for that $1 million, and that'll be in the form of an ILA, interlocal agreement. We also have to execute an AFA, an advanced funding agreement with TxDOT. And that's because the federal funds that got funneled through the RMA, they are managed by Texas Department of Transportation. That AFA tends to be a lengthy process. So we want to start that in February. And then of course, the DAP coordination, like you heard Sid say on World Trade Bridge, that DAP coordination as we enter into design and the environmental documentation, this DAP coordination with federal agencies is ongoing all the way until we let the project for construction. We're also, like I said, we're working on design, we're working on the NEPA clearance, and all so that we can let the project for bids late 2028. It's an aggressive schedule, but we feel very confident that we can do that. We expect for construction to last 18 months, and we'll have it open to you mid-2030. So again, an aggressive schedule, but we feel very confident. We know how important the project is to you and to the economy of our area. So excited about delivering this to the community. In terms of construction costs, right now our construction cost for this project is about $28.8 million. If you look at the presidential permit, the application that we submitted to the Department of State, the actual number there is 29 million, but if we get down to the nitty gritty, our current estimate is actually a little bit less at $28.8 million. And you'll see what that's composed of. The bridge deck, the roadway and embankments portion, we have a 20% contingency, and then mobilization about 2.3. So the actual construction is $25.6 million, but with all the other components, it adds up to about 28.8.
I'm sorry, is that for both?
Yes, for both spans,
Both?
a total, yes, sir.
And both halves, basically?
Yes, sir. Now, this is only the US side.
Of course.
Yeah, not the construction of the Mexican side.
So on the contingencies, normally if there's any issues, that you're gonna add to it, right, you have $3
It's a-
million on it.
Right.
But it's still gonna take another 3 or 4 years to start building, so do you have other things that are built in for it to increase in construction?
Right now, I mean, that contingency should catch, we feel, some escalation in bid unit prices if things tend to cost more. In my opinion, though, and I'm retired, I know I see some familiar faces, so if any of you know me, I'm retired from TxDOT. I led the district, and up until 2019, then I retired from TxDOT. The way things are going right now, so TxDOT right now is kind of on a financial slowdown, and I believe personally that that's actually going to help us to get a really good bid on this project. So I'm hoping that the bid's actually lower than higher. But that's just me, you know, my TxDOT career looking back, whenever there's a TxDOT slowdown, you know, that the competition is much higher in with contractors, and you typically get a better bid. But that's just, you know, me kind of looking at the past. I worked for TxDOT for 25 years, and that's typically what would happen. But we'll see when we get to bid. So, you know, we talked about the border wall, and I'm sure all of you know, the border wall has been constructed at Columbia Solidarity. So Baltasar went out and took photos of the bridge, and Balta, let's hear what you saw.
Yeah, what we saw here, Baltasar Avila, good evening. Doing a site visit for one of our sub-consultants, we found out that the border wall is being constructed. So what you're looking here is, you know, so a couple of pictures, you know, upstream. You know, this is looking upstream, the middle picture looking upstream, and there's a gate in the middle, and this is an issue that we have to contend during the design, because as you know, we're building two bridges, and the bridge that we're gonna be building on this side will have to be adjusted. And CID has worked on this on a different project, but this is the coordination that we have already started with Border Patrol. So this is something that is ongoing. I'm gonna show you, just recently, we found that DHS and CBP, they awarded a couple of contracts, 5 contracts, but there are 2 contracts here in Laredo for a total of $1.1 billion to construct about 56 miles of border wall. So this is an issue that we, you know, it's on the radar now, and we're gonna be, you know, talking to the you know, different entities to coordinate, because this is gonna be an issue for our design, again, for that bridge that we're gonna be proposing. And also, I wanted to just show you, we don't have enough information at this time, since we're starting kind of a, you know, the discussion. But this is a map that shows the proposed border wall that is gonna be affecting this area. As you can see, it's gonna be through Colombia and World Trade. And again, this is the Laredo sector that includes about 56 miles in total. I'll pass it to you, Melissa.
Thank you, Martha. And then finally, to wrap it up, you know, our next steps. So we are going to continue, of course, the interagency work groups with our state and federal agencies. We continue the DAP meetings to, again, all the way through till we get to construction letting. The binational coordination meeting, actually, I had a brief meeting with the Department of State in DC last week, and he informed me that the next Border Bridges and Border Crossings group meeting is going to be held April 7th and 8th in DC. So this is hot off the press. We will be there representing the city of Laredo, our client, and as is, I'm sure, every other project, you know, border crossing project on the Texas-Mexico border, actually in the United States. So again, hot off the press, and, you know, we're looking forward to representing you well there. And then, of course, you know, we'll convene the technical work groups, you know, with Nuevo Laredo, I saw Nuevo Leon there, and I read Nuevo Laredo, but yeah, with Nuevo Leon, we've been in very close coordination with Nuevo Leon, with their staff. Even this past year, the governor, Samuel Garcia, came to Codefront. We had a very nice reunion there. Eduardo, you were there.
Yes.
And so everybody has been so supportive on both sides of the border for the Columbia Solidarity expansion. It's been wonderful, and it's been wonderful working with our counterparts in Nuevo Leon. So looking forward to continue that communication and coordination with our Mexican counterparts. But with that, we can answer any questions, or if you have any comments.
Any questions?
Go ahead, Chair. Hi, good to see you again.
Yes, sir, you too.
Could you tell us a little bit about what those agreements with the city of Laredo and the RMA and TxDOT and RMA, what would they entail?
So the $1 million that the RMA devoted to Columbia Solidarity expansion, that was devoted to the project, and of course, the city is the sponsor of that project. So that requires an interlocal agreement. So it's a simple ILA that I'm sure you remember when, you know, you were with the city. The really big, time-consuming agreement is the one between, with TxDOT, and the RMA to make those transfer of funds. They've already been put into the TIP, and that, you know, that gets the project federalized. But we still have to go through the motions to execute the AFA with TxDOT, and it's a process. And so we're gonna get that started with this next phase of work. Very important though, is that this past August, the UTP, TxDOT passed their UTP, that's their 10-year program of funds. Columbia was added in TxDOT's UTP, and it was approved the last Thursday of August of 2025. And so now we can move forward with executing the AFA. But it is a process, it's gonna take several months, but you know, it's checking the boxes, we just have to go through the motions. There's no risk, it's just process.
It's just an agreement, or, I mean,
Yes, sir. It's an
I mean, I
advanced
noticed that there's the word funding.
Oh.
Is TxDOT going to provide funding, or?
No, the funding had already been provided to the RMA in 2014. So it's the RMA's prerogative, as long as it's an eligible project, and it was the RMA's prerogative as to where to allocate those funds. And the board already took action in a previous board meeting to allocate it to Columbia. That's why it's already in the TIP.
Okay.
But the AFA needs to be executed, and again, it's a process, because those funds were already officially allocated to the RMA in 2014. So they're actually called Category 12 Strategic Partnership, not to be confused with Category 12 Strategic Priority. That's the TxDOT Commission. But these are strategic partnership funds that were only issued to regional mobility authorities for eligible projects like this.
Melissa,
Yes, sir.
Melissa, I have a
Yes,
question. Unlike Laredo, you know, where the border wall hasn't been built, in Colombia it's already there. I don't know when you started the project or the design of the bridge, the wall probably wasn't there. Now it is.
Right.
Does that change, you know, the design of the bridge, the height of the bridge, or does it delay the construction date when it starts? I mean, how does it affect it? I mean, are you gonna
Sure.
knock the little piece of the wall, or you cannot touch it? Is it untouchable, or what's
And-
the sense on this thing? Because I mean, it's a touchy subject.
Of course, and you know, I'll probably have Sid, you know, support me on this one, but I mean, we're gonna have to coordinate, you know, what we do with the wall. You know, I would say most likely, Sid, we're gonna have to remove a portion and then put it back. But that, as we enter into the design phase, those are the alternatives that we need to
Because
research.
all of those things add to the, you know, negotiating thing, you know,
Yes.
removing thing before
Yes.
you start building, so it delays everything.
Well, the good thing, we already know who the contacts are. That's what, we're gonna start on that right away, is that coordination and communication. You know, you heard Sid say that was a state-funded wall, but we already have a federal contact as well. We need to start immediately with coordinating with those entities to determine, okay, what is the path moving forward, and, you know, what is palatable? What can we, you know, let's work together and come up with a solution. But I don't know, me just thinking,
Because it also adds to the cost. Now you have to
Oh, of
remove
course.
something, somebody has to pay for the removal, somebody has to pay to build it again. I don't know if it's,
It's built in the contingency.
exactly.
well, and hopefully,
$3
million.
hopefully we work together on that. But Sid, did you have anything to add there?
I was just gonna add that, you mentioned it, I think, let me see if I can go back to there's two components relative to the border wall. Oh, I don't know, can you get back to the picture of the two bridges?
Go backwards.
There
There we go.
There we go. Oh, leave it there. You can see the border wall has been built I call it a border fence, I'm sorry, I don't call it a wall.
It is a fence, actually, more than a wall.
But it goes up, they built it underneath the Columbia Bridge, so that proves that it can be built underneath an existing bridge. So that's important, I think, because then you can see the foundation, and
But
right
it's
behind
nowhere-
here
it's
is the bridge.
nowhere under the bridge. 'Cause
This
I've
one
never-
goes under,
Yeah, because I cross to the Columbia Bridge quite often. I was there today.
but it's on either side, it's sticking up.
It is high, and then it goes under, so it's
Under.
lower there.
Right.
So are you gonna make the bridge higher?
No,
Or you just, they're
no,
gonna cut
no,
the pipes to a lower
we will
level?
stick with our, which, am I going the right way or wrong way?
Yeah, the one more up. There. Oh, is that the one you were trying to?
No, I was trying to go to the two bridges, cause there's two components now. Let me go back. Yeah, anyway. If you, the wall that's there, that is built underneath the existing Columbia Bridge, was built by the state of Texas. It was on an easement that was secured by the state of Texas to the private landowner and the city of Laredo for the part on city property. They also built the wall down here on private land and on private easement that was obtained by the state of Texas. The federal port of entry goes all the way down to the river. And so the state of Texas cannot build on federal land, just like we can't without going through all the donation acceptance process. So that's the benefit of us knowing to contact with Border Patrol specifically today, is we're gonna talk to them Friday and say, hey, what are you gonna build here in between the bridges? And so this southbound bridge is on federal land. And so we hope we can coordinate it with the federal government when they get around to building that part in front of Columbia, to either leave it out. We need a gate there also. We need a gate on the other one. It does affect cost, but we're starting early enough with the knowledge of where it is, who it belongs to. We think it's not gonna delay the project. That's the main thing, is I don't think it's gonna delay the project. Probably cost more, because we will have to do something to at least get a piece cut out to build a bridge on the north side. And a gate to get in there to build it.
Let's worry till we get there.
And then build it, and then add
Let's
it
get there
back.
first, okay,
And then add
guys?
it back.
We'll let the cart before the horse.
The southbound bridge, we're hoping we can coordinate with the federal government and work that out with them between now and whenever they're getting ready to build in this area, so. But the benefit is we're early. I don't think it's gonna delay the project, but it is gonna be some expense.
We have a good head start on this.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is there a traffic model like the one in Tamaulipas?
We haven't done one yet.
Not yet.
I don't think we have it in our, again,
She said she's going there, go everywhere.
yeah, we're not gonna go up and over, no.
No. She
That's
said
what
that
we're at the beginning.
we're at the
I mean,
beginning.
Our
There's-
approach going into the presidential permit was, you have X amount of traffic here today. We have a defined history of increasing traffic, especially commercial traffic at Columbia. And so we used our traffic projections based on existing conditions that were there before and what we're projecting in the future. We didn't do a traffic model because right now we're gonna need to do a lot of other stuff. This port is a different port altogether from World Trade. World Trade has been improved over time, and this port needs some attention.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we have a great problem here, and I don't have to tell you, since La Gloria roadway opened, the traffic there, it's tripled. Since that roadway, was constructed and opened, so it's a wonderful problem to have. And that's another reason that we need this project so badly. I mean, we need to be able to circulate that traffic through there. And of course, realize the economic vitality that this project is gonna bring to the community as well, so.
When we had the burst at World Trade, Columbia couldn't take all the traffic. I mean, it's limited,
Right.
and it needs a lot of help inside.
Yes, for sure.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
Melissa, appreciate that, so.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along. Presentation and update by Lauren Alcott from the Green Corridors.
Hi, for the record, I'm Lauren Elcock, representing Green Corridors. I'm the chief of staff there at Green Corridors. I work directly for the CEO, so if if you have questions or concerns, he's gonna hear about it, so. So I have a short video I just wanna play, I think everybody's familiar with the project in general. And we did get a presidential permit. We've been working closely with CBP and TxDOT and the city. And we have MOUs in place with the city and with the governor in Nuevo Leon. And we've actually done a lot of work with Sistema de Camino and Codefront in order to facilitate this. But I'll just give you this little video. It's 2 minutes, and just to give everybody something to visualize. It's not, it's a rendering, so it's not gonna look exactly like this, I'm sure, but.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking about what I was gonna say when I came here, and I think that the most appropriate thing is to probably just answer questions. We've been out in the community quite a bit, and we often get questions that show that people don't really understand what it is we're trying to do. And so, if you guys have any questions, or if you have concerns, or you wanna know something about the project, that's what I'm here for.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, Lauren, to proximity of the Columbia, how far is it from there? How is that being coordinated with?
Yeah, so
expansion and-
it actually, if you, let me just pull this up here, I'll show you,
It shows it to be on the south side of the Mill Tree.
yeah, so there's a little graphic there on your screen, and you can see where the word Dolores is, and the orange line. That orange line was the line that we put in the presidential permit. And that was not it's obviously not written in stone, but that's our intended location, which is, just a few yards off of the Codefront border on the Mexican side. And, sort of maybe 150 yards, or maybe 200 yards away from the, CBP location on the US side. Both sides of the border were leaving Mexico and landing in the US on private property.
Have you already secured the property on the US side?
We have an LOI in place, yeah.
Do you have a timeline for the project?
Yeah, the goal is to be, commissioned and in service by 2032.
That's fine.
Your presidential permit states you have to start construction in 5 years, right?
Correct, on the bridge, correct, yes.
Is it already funded?
It's okay, thank you.
Fully funded?
Funding is, it's not funded, but the way these projects are typically done is the funding is, it's not gonna be us that builds it. Green Corridors doesn't have the resources to build it. The company that will build it will be probably one of the big 5 engineering firms, you know, AECOM or Parsons or somebody like that. And they'll do it, in conjunction with an infrastructure fund, you know, typically Blackstone or somebody like that, one of those really big organizations that has billions of dollars to deploy. We've been talking to those people, and for now a couple of years, and keeping them updated on what it is we're doing. So we have a very good idea of what they expect in order to make it, for them to finance it. So that's the way it'll get done. Yeah.
No federal funding, it's all private equity.
It's all private money. We haven't taken any money from the government. We haven't taken grants. And our CEO was very clear about that at the beginning because, first of all, those things come with a lot of strings, and the private money doesn't want to wait to get something done. They want to get it done, as quickly as possible, right? As efficiently as possible. And
No resistance in Mexico?
Pardon me?
No resistance in Mexico, no?
No, the opposite of resistance in Mexico. Actually, we've had we signed an MOU with Governor Garcia early on, about a year and a half ago, and he's supported us very well. And Sistema de Camino, which is the primary, and Codefront have also been really open with us. We haven't had any problems with them at all. It's been basically a straight line to where we're at.
So this is gonna be a private bridge,
It's private. It's entirely private. Yeah.
but the funding would work for the city's benefit, just like the regular bridges that we have now?
That's right. We in our MOU with the city, we've agreed that the city is going to maintain its ability to collect tolls. So the city will be kept whole. They're going to get what they're getting currently. We're just going to hopefully increase the volume.
So you're gonna build only the bridge part first and then the rail, or? I don't
No,
understand
the
that
whole
part.
the whole system has to get built
Same time?
simultaneously. But your question earlier was the bridge. We have 5 years to start the bridge construction, and that's sort of an important detail because depending on what our timeline looks like, we're still right now in the planning and conceptual design phase. But depending on what the timing looks like, we may start the bridge first. That might be the first thing we start because of that deadline.
Because of the,
Yeah.
and then the right of ways?
How does the electrical grids work? I mean, do you have a big grid to run where do you get the
Actually,
power?
no. So the shuttles are autonomous, but they're powered by diesel electric motors.
Okay.
So similar to a locomotive on a train. And the key feature there is that there's no people involved. It's completely autonomous, and 75% reduction in diesel fuel. So for the same amount of weight to go the same distance, it's 75% less. So big environmental savings there.
Lauren, the whole thing, it's elevated, right?
Correct.
And where does it begin on the Mexican side and where does it end on the US side?
Oh, good question. So yeah, it's gonna the terminals. There'll be at least 2 terminals at each end of the system. The reason for that is that we anticipate that in the future we're gonna ultimately build this thing is gonna be built to handle 10,000 trailers in each direction every day. If that happens or when that happens, you're not gonna be able to have the traffic generation is just gonna be too much to have that all go through one or 2 terminals. You'll need multiple terminals at each end. So the proposed terminals right now are in Salinas, Victoria, which is just north of Monterrey, and then we're looking at, in the presidential permit, we included 2 locations, one here by Mines Road and 255, and the other one out by Gateway and I-35. And we have a traffic study going on. We have cameras set up at the World Trade Bridge and at Columbia. We also have a camera at Las Tiendas and 255, and another one at 83, and then some more cameras out at I-35. And that's been going on for about a month and a half, almost 2 months now. It's probably going to go for another month. The goal is to get the best data because it's video. Many of the bridge studies and traffic studies that TxDOT's done in the university, TTI, in the past, they don't actually give you, or they weren't giving us what we needed to be super precise about where these trucks are going and where they're coming from. So we're gonna have the best data about where trucks in and around Laredo are going, when they cross the bridge, where do they end up, and then that's gonna help us determine where we need to put the terminals. The other potential terminal location is down by the new road, the new Ruthinger connection to Mines Road. That location is attractive because that gets us close to the market, right? And it also, from TxDOT's perspective, it's very attractive because it helps with the congestion on Mines Road. And so we've been in very close contact with TxDOT, and we're gonna work with them and of course, all the developers and all the people in the local area. We've got, agreements, for the land, in place. So we're just, right now, basically trying to get this traffic study done, and then we'll know precisely where we want to put the terminals right now. We don't want to say where the terminals are going to go right now, just because we're not sure until we do all the alternatives.
I want to make somebody needs to make a motion, extend 30 minutes to me.
Motion to extend.
Second.
All in favor?
What is the speed on this pod?
It's not a high speed, it's, the shuttles will go at approximately 30 miles an hour.
Even all the way to, like, once crossed?
Yeah.
On the straightaway?
Yeah, yeah, the idea is that's how we get the savings on the fuel, that's how we get because we're not, trying to move it through the air, the air, it's exponentially increases your resistance as you go faster. And really the efficiency and the predictability of this is actually the key feature. The fact that it doesn't stop, it leaves Monterey and it goes to the terminal in Laredo without stopping.
And what's the estimated time period, Mark?
It'll be similar, probably just similar to the same distance if a truck made that trip, but with no stops. If the truck was uninterrupted, didn't have to stop at toll booths, didn't have to stop at the border, didn't have to, all the things that are right now causing the problem, right?
Is the MOU with the state of Nuevo León, is it public information?
It is, yep.
Hitchhikers?
Pardon me?
Hitchhikers?
Well, the entire system is elevated. And the reason for that is it's much more expensive to build it that way, but it's the only way to ensure the security aspect.
So is the border wall.
The border wall?
No, I mean, so is the border
yeah,
wall.
so, yeah,
They still go over it.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Well, for us, the border wall is not a problem because the way we're planning to build it, we'll just fly right over it. There's no interference with the border wall. Yeah.
Cost to use?
We're estimating that the entire project will cost in the neighborhood of 10 billion.
No, cost comparison to like a truck.
Yeah, that was Jerry's question. It'll be similar. We'll have tiered service, so we'll have a premium service that will probably cost more, but that's going to guarantee you, a time savings or some other factors. But the goal when we built this and the business model, it was that it had to compete with the existing service, and we're confident we can do that.
Similar to a land freight or similar to a rail?
Similar to truck, yeah.
How about custom clearance? How would that work?
Yeah, so we're working closely with CBP, and actually I just had a meeting with Director Flores on Friday. The plan there is that we're gonna use NIIs. We're gonna have the scanning. 100% of everything will get scanned, and that will happen in Monterey before it comes to Laredo. And the discussions we're having with CBP right now is where does it get adjudicated, and where does all that data go, right? The scan, the pedimento, all the paperwork, everything. And so right now, the Director Flores has asked, he wants to go to Columbia, to the Columbia has a new facility there with the all the fancy screens and data center. So that's where all the information will go. And because of the fact that it's being scanned, everything is being scanned, and because we're a closed loop system and we have very high level of security, CBP and us are expecting that the number of secondary inspections will be very low, like extremely low, something like maybe 1%. And so that means that CBP won't have to have extra staff. They'll dispatch staff when it's appropriate to the terminal. And the same way if a trucking company wanted to get it inspected, they have to pay. If they want to do it after hours, it'll be a very similar process to that. A little bit sort of a combination between the train, the way they do it with the train, where it's scanned and then they kind of deal with the problem later, except for us, it will be inside our terminal in a controlled environment.
Have you talked with Mexican Customs too?
We have, yes. We've been at all the binational meetings, and been talking to them, and also CBP has working groups, with them, which we're gonna take advantage of to make sure that everything's coordinated.
That's what, so my next question. My next question is, so on the US side, you just said clearance is easy. The southbound stuff is harder. The US side, it's one port. On the Mexican side, it's two ports. Will this add to a third port number? Will this be included with Colombia? How does that work?
Those details are still have to be worked out, but it will most likely be, the goal for us would be to have it be included in Colombia and just be part of it, the way everything works now. But I can't give you a firm answer on that right now. We don't actually know.
What differentiates the tiers of a premium service, middle, and the minimum? If the train goes at, 30 miles an hour, what's gonna differentiate?
Right.
How much I pay to someone else and to someone else?
So one of the key things is that this system will run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So instead of right now you have, the border closes, right? And that means traffic stops on both sides of the border. And so for us, the idea would be that we need to get as many, as much traffic in and out of our terminals, that's outside of the busy time, right? Like the way everything else works. And so the idea would be that if you have a load that needs to be at a specific time and it's a rush, it needs to be there in a hurry, something like that, you pay extra, right? If it's just a regular scheduled load that's coming on a regular basis and we know exactly how long it's gonna take and it can be there in a window, then that will cost less. And if it can sit and wait until a scheduled time later that allows us to get through the traffic organized and down, then less. And I think it's the difference. The market will decide what the actual price is, right? Eventually, at first, of course, we'll set a price, but ultimately the market will decide.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
All right.
the conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving right along. Discussion with possible action regarding mandatory bi-monthly or monthly meetings to be held in odd or even months on the calendar year or any other matters.
Good evening, Port of Entry Chairman and committee members. I know we have a couple of items that were gonna be discussed due to your mandatory bi-monthly or monthly meetings. We reviewed an October 16, 2024 Port of Entry meeting where this was discussed on the meeting monthly or bi-monthly. We reviewed all the video, any comments made by you all. It was approved on that day, October 16, 2024, to meet monthly, but nowhere it states that the attendance will be taking bi-monthly every other month. I don't know in previous years this had been discussed, but at this meeting on October 16 of that year, 2024, nowhere it states on the attendance. We reviewed the minutes, we reviewed the video, so that's the date we have. The second amendment done to your bylaws was in July 18 of 2024, and that was to add the ex officio. So it is up to you all again. I know we had, as on our end for City Department for Laredo Bridge System, we take into account all your committee attendance. We provide semi-annual reports, which is one from January to June, July, and one from July to December, doing January 15. Which were already submitted, where we submit all the minutes, we submit the agendas, we submit all the attendance taken for those 6 months. Taking into consideration, with all due respect, any administration done in the past, whatever was submitted before, the way it works, you have your ordinance done in and approved in 2019, which is 2019-0-110. What it tells you, all the do's and don'ts, the attendance, your quorum, you know, how all committees and boards should work for all the City of Laredo committees and boards. From there, you all work on your bylaws. You can change and amend your bylaws as needed, upon request. So again, yes, it is up to you all. You want to amend and change your bylaws. So us following, the bylaws and of course our, ordinance, we were abiding by. It was in no way done to offend any one of y'all. You know, we appreciate all your knowledge. We appreciate your expertise. So, with that being said, we were just taking the attendance. It was in no way meant to uphold the meetings or to stall anything. You know, we want to have these meetings. We want to have your input. We want to have any discussions, any arguments, anything that you bring in for us to help us be a better bridge system, you know. So, again, with that being said, you all let us know if you want us to amend that, your bylaws. But as of right now, the last one we have on the record is for October 16, 2024, and it was only discussed and approved or motioned to meet monthly. But nowhere it talks about the attendance being taken any other month.
So right now it's monthly, I'm sorry,
Correct.
right now it's
You all
monthly
meet
and
monthly?
attendance is every other.
Yes, correct, sir.
But that was mentioned, I believe Monica made that, motion at the time to make the changes, but that was monthly with attendance every other month, right?
Correct. Nowhere it states, you know, to differentiate, you know, we're gonna meet
Which one?
monthly, but the attendance will be taken any other month.
It-
We reviewed it, unless you have another date.
When you saw the videos, it said special meeting, that's what it meant. It's a special meeting because it didn't count. And I think the most important thing in these meetings, we always have had a quorum.
Of course.
I mean, we've never canceled these meetings, so I think that talks good about this committee. And I think it's important that we keep everybody here in the meantime. And I guess I'll make the motion to keep them up.
If I may, Arturo, we have bylaws like in any other thing, right? And if it states something, we have to follow that. And if we don't agree with what it says, we can change it. But if it says there that if Jerry didn't show up for 7 meetings, Jerry shouldn't sit here, then that's what it says. Regardless of the fact that everyone here is needed, we have to attend, we have to participate. We all donate our time to be here, and it's difficult for everyone, myself included. And when I'm here in Laredo, I try my best to be here. But I believe that's why they have regulations and guidelines, and we have to abide by them, whether it affects us or not, in my opinion.
And I agree, but let me also ask you this, to be in attendance, because sometimes I'm out of town. I handle 2 cities. Do we have to be in attendance, or can we be like on Teams or on Zoom, or?
WebEx is allowed, and we've counted present when we
Well,
had committee members do
Okay, so
WebEx.
that would also
counts.
count.
Yes, sir.
Having said that, Mr. Terry, I don't think we have the authority to take anybody off this board anyway, whether you meet the meetings or not,
I'm not-
as per legal for
So
city.
the bylaws should state that. So if it says there that if Jerry doesn't show up to X amount of meetings, you are removed from the committee, if it literally says that, then that's what we have to follow.
We can't remove anybody.
We're
We're not
hold on,
removing
it's
anything.
not us.
It's
Legal-
the
legal-
bylaws.
Yeah, legal reviewed, and it wasn't us, but legal reviewed everybody, because in all the committees that we stand, so legal made this decision, I believe, right? It wasn't any of us, so.
So, and on the ordinance again of 2019 0-110, that's how y'all, worked out your bylaws, every committee, every board, and it states failure to attend 4 regular, scheduled meetings in 1 calendar year. You know, and I send you your bylaws, so, and I thought that was weird, states 3 meetings. I do not know if previously administration, or if y'all approved 3. But the regular ordinance states 4 regular meetings if someone's absent, yet the bylaws state 3 meetings.
That's fine, but what is the process if those meetings are not met? That's the question.
The meetings or the person, you know, schedule.
For the person that
Correct.
doesn't come to the meetings, what is the legal city term
The
to do
legal
with that?
city term, I've spoken to City Sec, we keep track of the record, we double check, of course, with the chairman, you know, this is a concern, you know, this is what we follow, let us know, you know, again, however it was worked before, I don't have a say or so, We were just trying to abide by your bylaws and by the ordinance. Again, the ordinance can be amended, of course. We did discuss with legal, we discussed with management, with city secretary to do something about it. Again, every board and committee, they're different. And actually, last night there was an item, a public hearing and introductory ordinance, to standardize all the boards and committees, to follow one standard ordinance. But it was tabled due to the citizenship and residency, that was the only issue. So hopefully they'll put it on the next meeting and we'll have more information. But as of right now, you all can't amend your bylaws.
Let's take an example in this situation. If they're gonna put a standard guidelines where they're gonna have the meeting set up, and they say, you know what, we wanna go out there, we wanna have a meeting monthly, but we wanna count the odd number of months instead of so if we miss the odd number of months, we can agree to that as part of our bylaws, right?
It's already in our bylaws.
No, we just got monthly by
It just
month.
says-
It's bi-monthly.
No.
Yeah, but it doesn't say which month.
which
Yeah,
month.
Yeah, so we gotta be clarity on this one.
Yeah, there should be.
Say 3 absences?
And does it reset every year, or how does it
No,
reset?
your bylaw says, let me read it if I may,
Calendar year.
it says Article 5, letter C, 5 members of the committee shall constitute a quorum. Letter D, if any member is absent from 3 meetings during a calendar year, they shall be automatically removed from the committee.
So I guess our recommendation would be to go with a standard 4 meetings, if we could do that, and then also, say, odd months. I don't know if everybody would agree to that, and the second thing is reinstate the members that were off because, the management, they were voted off, I think, right, by.
We're working on that. We work with the assistants for council members, to those appointed by certain council members or by the mayor or by an organization. We were trying to expedite the process. We did address Mr. Puig's email as well. We worked with mayor. We were able to add him to yesterday's council agenda. It was approved. Same as Mr. Canales, so pending, we just added 2 more, which is for District 1 and District 5. They will be added on the February agenda for reappointment. Of course, we need to call the district council member. They need to also contact the member to see if they want to be reappointed.
Wait, who was voted off and who voted them off?
So it's not a voting, Rick, I'm sorry, it's following the procedure, and if I was absent 3 times or 4 times, whatever the number is, it clearly states that you automatically get removed from the committee.
At
This
that
wasn't a
point, do you go to a
decision,
council member and say, hey, reappoint?
so, I'm sure you can, but if you are a person, if I'm the person that didn't show up 6 times, how does that council member look like if you were never here and he reappoints you? He can do whatever he wants.
No, I get
But,
the update.
but it's not anybody doing it, it's the system. They went through the list, and if Jerry didn't show up for 5 meetings, then automatically it stays there that I have to be removed for lack of participation.
I get it, it's just that they said voted off, and then,
You know what, that's my terminology, I'll retract that
No,
statement.
that's
Just to
fine,
say-
but my understanding is,
It's a forfeit, I apologize.
we,
It's called forfeit.
us up here are appointed by a city council member or the mayor.
Correct.
So, I wanna understand the process of your job to go back to them and say, this person, this many absences, we recommend X, we recommend Y. What is your process? Not ours, your process to council, to the mayor, to the council person.
Our process is after each meeting, we have our liaison taking attendance, who's here, who's not, who got here after 6 p.m., we account for everything. Like I tell you, we submit a semi-annual report. So with that being said, whoever's absent more than the 4 times scheduled consecutive absences during a calendar year, we have to submit all that information to city secretary. So the process is we need to keep track who has been absent 4 times consecutive. Then we talk to city sec. We do a letter, write the letter due to the forfeit. It's called a forfeit. The person that is absent those consecutive 4 times.
Okay, if I may ask, when you say consecutive, there's a big difference between a consecutive and then the calendar year
Throughout the
being
year,
absent
yes.
4 times a year. So if I'm absent the 3 times in a row and then I make it on my 4th one, does that restart all over again for because you're saying consecutive?
Correct. It's not stated that if it's consecutive 3 and then you come back a fourth time you show up, whoever, and then it starts again from zero. It doesn't say that on the ordinance
So
or the
is it,
bylaws.
so is it 3 a year or 3 consecutive?
Right, that's,
Which one would
Actually,
you?
it doesn't say consecutive, it's just say 3 absence.
During a calendar year.
During a
During
calendar
a
year.
12-month period.
Correct.
It doesn't say
Oh,
calendar
well,
year.
when you
It's
say
a
consecutive is a
12-month
big-
Oh,
period.
yeah, because she mentioned consecutive, that's why we're wondering.
No, I'm so sorry.
Can we have copies of the bylaws? Because I mean, I
Yes,
don't have them.
I can resend them the bylaws.
All right,
and
so we
the
just said two different things, calendar year and 12 consecutive months.
No, no, no.
Which is it?
No, I can read it. I have it
just
here.
looking on the internet, it
Let-
says 12,
I can place it here.
12, in a 12-month period,
in a 12-month period,
yes.
you could only, in your fourth absence,
Three
you're out.
absence.
Three absences and you're out.
In
Whether
No,
it's
not in a
odd-
row, just 3 absence.
Just three absences, whether
Yeah,
it's an
it's
odd
okay.
month or an even month.
It's open.
Let me.
Okay, let's read it.
My only
Yeah,
comment on
because-
this is we need to set in stone the dates of the meetings, and we should not change it, because we all serve in another boards.
Correct.
And if you are moving those dates, maybe we are gonna be missing, what is gonna happen if you move a date of the meeting and we cannot make it? Is not gonna count, or?
No, we haven't moved the dates. I know it was requested a calendar. I sent a calendar with all meetings are scheduled every third Wednesday of the month. I believe the only one that has changed, it was in December and sometime in,
In July, whenever there was a
July,
Mexican broker.
May, it was several ones.
correct, but we haven't.
That's an
it's rare
agreement
that we
between
change
the
it.
majority of us here.
Correct, and you all approve it and then we try to,
I know it's an agreement of the majority, but if that's gonna make me get on my third absence, you are gonna like,
No, it's
go-
not, it's not, I'm. it's
I
not-
mean,
it's
the
just-
board,
but the thing
you know,
about it is-
it's something can happen to everyone. How about if I say like, it's okay, I can come the next week, but David, it's on his second absent and he's not gonna make it. He's gonna be on his third, is he gonna be kicked out?
We're
we
working
are
on
gonna
the
skip-
process right now, I'm just sitting there saying that.
No,
what's
but we
being
need to
heard
like
right now, so-
consider all those type of things.
Understood, and so.
Because we are not like
ahead.
just
Go
working
ahead.
here.
You said one document states 3 absences, other one states 4. Our bylaws state 3, and then or what states 4?
the
Ordinance
ordinance
says-
states, I'm
The
sorry.
ordinance states 4.
Yes, it's here.
So we could, we could, right now, we could request a change to our bylaws where it stays 4, and then say even, just to make it clearer, odd months or even months, so we can sit there for clarity on that aspect.
Well, Chairman, if I may, I think it depends on the agenda. I mean, with all due respect, sometimes the agenda, like today, it's very important. It should be considered as a mandatory meeting, so.
I agree.
If we just stick it like,
So we want some
odd
flexibility,
months,
yeah.
I mean, probably on that particular month, the agenda is very important. And, I mean, I don't think we should keep it like
Restricted.
so square.
Mr. Chairman, also, if I may ask, and also staff, was this initially to be every other month, this committee?
Yes, that's what
Why
the bylaws
can't we
say.
stick it and keep it the same as it was intended, and if we need to get and have a meeting, we give 30 days in advance that we're gonna have this meeting? I know some things come up real fast, but that way it stays consistent the way it was, and you just keep it every other meeting. And these meetings that we put in.
Right now,
On
I'm
the
gonna share
contrary.
a story right now. We have an issue right now where, I know they had a study that was done, and it was just presented to Wednesday. Friday, they had a study done where they went out there. So the next meeting's gonna be very important regarding the bridge tolls. So I think that we should be attending the next
No,
meeting as
but
well,
there's gonna be
I
special
understood.
ones,
Well-
yeah, definitely.
On the inverse, I think that trade in the number one port of entry should not take a month off to get these meetings together.
Then I'm
I
fine
think
with
we need to amend our bylaws to meet every month as stated, instead of every other month. Being the largest port of entry, we can't afford to wait 2 months and then maybe put a meeting together if some important things come up and this or that. And that would clarify if this meeting counted, if that meeting didn't count. If we were to make 12 months, 12
That's the
meetings,
first.
and then period.
That's the
Because that's throwing us off on this meeting's important, this one's not, this one. This board sees very important things on a monthly basis, not every other month. And like JD said, we have this toll study that's coming up. We can't wait until, oh, it's an off month. Let's do an emergency meeting and then none of us are here. We're here because this is jam-packed. And this is jam-packed with very important information. So I think I would make a motion to change it to every month instead of bi-month.
We already have it
It's
every
already,
month.
every month.
there.
Well,
We don't need a motion.
Then every month should be able to constitute as an absence or not absence.
And that's,
Well, then I
sorry to
don't
interrupt.
understand what.
Article 5, Section 8 states, member of the committee shall meet monthly or at the call of the chair of the committee. So right now, it's monthly.
Yeah.
Our concern was.
Then there's no question if, then there's no question if this meeting counts, this
So
doesn't,
then
this one does.
let's clarify the absences.
I would
That's
like
what-
to
Let's
allow myself
clarify,
the ordinance to
let's
fall.
let's clarify the absences.
like the ordinance.
If it's four, it's four, and if it's four, regardless of their consecutive, if I don't show up to 4 meetings, then automatically, it's not that somebody pushed a button, I automatically get removed.
But are you
because
talking
that's-
12 meetings a year?
Yes.
It's a
We
calendar.
didn't have one in December.
Well,
No, that's
That
fine.
doesn't
So
count.
it's 11 or 12?
No.
No, come on.
It depends how, if you wanna cancel a meeting,
So
you know,
we
it's.
cancel
Yeah,
it's
we,
not-
we, we can cancel a
But it's
meeting, it
it's
doesn't
supposed to be-
count.
It's supposed to be 12.
Yes.
Correct,
And is it
calendar.
3 absences or 4 absences? I'm getting confused. Some
Okay.
people mention 3,
The
some people
ordinance
mention 4.
states 4.
Okay.
I do not have an answer
4
why
out of 12.
previously it says 3 on the bylaws.
Okay,
I don't
this
have
is
an
what
answer.
we're gonna change up right now. We can put
Bylaws
4.
should
Put it
Right now, somebody's gonna make a motion to say we could have 4 absences, so we can go ahead and increase our absences to match the ordinance.
But we're set on every month.
Yes.
It's
set on
not
every month,
other
every
Okay, I
month.
just wanted to clarify.
It's been said since October 16 of 2024.
Okay.
But
Yes.
now it's gonna be, we are gonna have the option to have it, by teams also, and it's gonna count
Correct.
as an attendance.
correct.
That's great, because
Yes.
that's gonna help a lot. If you are traveling, you can just be on Teams or whatever.
Yeah.
I make a motion to,
And that will be no absences.
I make a motion for our bylaws to match the city ordinance to make it 4
can we
instead of.
clarify something real quick? If 4 absences mean, once you are absent 4 times, you get removed, not
During the
on the 5th one.
Correct.
Correct, so if you're absent 4 times,
Correct.
by the bylaws,
Forfeit, it's
you
called
are,
forfeit.
you forfeit your seat.
If I may,
On a calendar year.
On a calendar year,
Correct.
January to December.
I just want to clarify if the absences, you all wanted to take it every other month.
No,
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 every
it's
month,
gonna be
No.
straight.
Every
no,
month.
that's gonna throw us off
Yeah.
into this spiral.
every month.
That's what I wanted to clarify. Okay,
So
and we'll
you
make an
should-
amendment, and like the motion you mentioned,
There's no issue.
to coincide the 4 days with the ordinance.
The difference in
agree.
the
So,
bylaws.
The motion was made, hold on, who made the motion?
I did.
Greg, I
Who
second.
I made a motion.
I second.
You second, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, go ahead. Any discussion?
No.
No,
Go ahead.
just the difference between us and the presidents or the president of organizations,
Associations.
they can send a substitute to come to their meetings
Yeah.
and we can't.
Correct.
That's the difference.
Is the
And
amendment
presidents of
include the
organizations.
possibility to connect online?
Yes.
I'm not a
Yes,
president of an
correct.
organization.
That's
already there, no?
on the
Let
amount
us
banking
know,
part.
we can even do
Is that a
the Zoom
part
meeting
of a-
for you.
That's perfect.
Yeah, just a link to be sent, day before or the day
Yes,
of,
we can work that, we
With
can
the
accommodate
agenda.
you all.
with the agenda, that's fine.
For the sake of time, I know that we've already agreed to this, we've already moved forward. Does anybody have any other discussions on this or no? All right,
Motion to
so,
vote.
I know that, we've already discussed 4 and 5, so we'll go to 6.
Oh, we need to vote on it, no?
You have
Hold
already
on.
voted?
We already
You have
voted on
motion?
it?
Hold
Yes.
on, if I may, just
Go
want
ahead,
to make it
Chief.
clear.
Okay. No, it's, Carlitos is second.
Yeah,
I
okay.
want to
Everybody
make it
voted
clear.
on it, so everybody agreed, okay.
Me as an international, with the banking portion of it, appointed by the mayor, so I can have somebody come in my place, or is it only presidents of?
No.
Okay, see, then I want to make sure.
Only associations.
The only people that can have replacements is the Laredo Economic Development, which Tony Arce agreed not to attend, so they gotta have, they have an open seat for them that can attend.
Okay.
Also, the Association of Laredo Forwarding Agents, Laredo Licensed Customs Brokers, Laredo Manufacturer Association, Logistics and Manufacturing Association, and Laredo Motor Carriers.
Okay, I just wanted to make it clear, and it's for the record.
We'll add it to the minutes.
Okay, and I guess the reappointments, so that would be up to the members themselves that were
And
taken
that
off?
was addressed, that's what I discussed right now. We
Okay.
had Mr. Puig reappointed, he accepted, and, you
But,
appointing
but,
Mr. Felix
but wait,
Canales for district.
wait, for the banker, because they don't have an association, that's why the mayor appointed somebody. But it's part of an organization, the banker.
The mayor appointed too, because Monica's under the mayor as well, right?
Yeah.
There's three appointees. There's
For the
three.
mayor.
Correct.
Okay. But he should have so he should be able to be an association, I think, right? I mean,
Well,
They
you
don't
have to
have-
be
I
an
don't know,
established
Because they
association,
don't have an
respectfully.
association, but that's the intent of the banking part,
okay.
as a community.
Well, it won't be from another bank.
I mean,
That's for sure.
but I mean, I just wanna clarify
It's up to you.
that. I just wanna clarify that. But it was appointed by the mayor because of that reason, because
Okay.
they don't have an association.
Let's take a time, cause I have to ask for another extension.
Motion to extend
motion
30
to
minutes.
20 minutes.
Second.
Make it in 20 minutes.
Let's do 15 if we can.
Second.
Monica, okay, so, all in favor?
No.
Okay.
So that means 4, 5, and 6 can be
Yes,
swiped.
so we got, so, and the ones that are lacking, reappointment, they have to have discussions with her.
Correct, the rest, District 1 and 5 will, be reappointed on February 2nd.
Fair enough, okay. Item number 7, discussion about chat with Laredo Police Department to help with traffic issues that have been taken care of, any of that matters.
Yes, I know Mr. Dominguez, I know priorly, maybe we misunderstood and we thought, you were, you meant, the issue we had on ticketing for U-turns, but you meant a chat like a WhatsApp.
I mean, when we had a group for the Mines Road, we had a chat, we had the WhatsApp, and we would communicate anything happening. And then the police department had to step out of that chat. Is there any way we could do some type of a chat with the city? Because, I mean, there's congestions with trucks, and they're calling everybody up. And who can we contact? If we have something faster, we can let them know so they can attack the issue.
We can, work something out, we currently do have 2 WhatsApp groups, we do have it, we have, with, Port Police, we have with, ANAM, we have with Bridge staff.
But not with us, right?
No, I need to double check on that, if we could do that, and I'll bring back some answers for you, but we currently have 2 WhatsApp, chats.
Don't we have to watch out for the quorum and all that, just like the emails? Isn't that the same thing?
See, but not with
No,
other
it's not.
committee, just
This is just
that somebody
communication.
can be involved with that, so that we can give information to
Correct, 'cause I know you're
LPD.
dealing with personal phones, we need to double check if there's a stipend on cell phones, if they're using personal cell phones, but we currently have a WhatsApp group with Port Police, all, bridge supervisors, assistants, and all that stuff, we have another one with ANAM as well. Whenever, if the system fails or anything, we always get a response either from the Coronel Flores or from, Consuelo, but we do have 2 current ones. I can ask if we can create one to include you all. I can ask that question.
We can
Well,
come
not
back-
everybody, but at least somebody from the US and somebody from the Mexican side, just
And we
so
But
create
just
our
for the
own chat.
record, we
At
do
the very
have,
least, we should create one
we have
amongst
very good
ourselves.
communication with their counterparts.
I don't know if we
amongst
can.
us, I have no idea if we can.
I was
do
I
late
that.
today.
I don't know
Sit on
if
the
we,
train.
but I don't know if we can, because, like,
It's a
I think
quorum.
somebody said because of, if we have more than
Walking
5 people
quorum?
in quorum, then it's a walking quorum, and then what's said there can be open meetings
Toma,
request, right?
Toma violation.
Correct.
Okay, all right, so we'll work on that, and we'll
Yes,
talk about
I'll
next
bring
month.
a
Okay,
report
item
in.
number 8, discussion of possible action to nominate and select a vice chairman for the Port of Entry Advisory. Jorge Cavazos was, vice chair, he's not president, he was affiliated with Association Joe Martinez, says, so we need a vice chair now.
We need it for 1 month? Or when is the next chairman appointment?
March, no?
March.
March?
I think
Nominate
it's
Joe
March.
Benavides.
I nominate Rick Laurel.
I second that.
Second, con Joe?
With-
Con Rick or con Joe? Like,
Carlito second, Joe.
okay. I nominate, Rick Laurel. I don't know if you wanna take votes.
A second for Rick Laurel,
Second.
okay. All right, we got competition, so all in favor for Joe Martinez, raise your hand. Oh, no, Joe Benavides, that's right, yeah. Did I vote? No, I didn't vote.
No, you're tiebreaker, aren't you?
All right, how many votes is that?
Counted 2.
1, 2, 3,
3, 4, I'm sorry, 5.
5. Okay, all in favor for Rick Laudel?
Vote?
2,
And I vote
3,
myself.
4,
That's
Five.
You have to abstain, Rick. I'm joking.
5.
tiebreaker.
5 for the tiebreaker.
I could vote for Rick.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fair, so yeah.
Rick wins it.
Takes.
All right, Rick, Vice Chair,
Congratulations, you always did.
congratulations. All right. All right, Rich staff reports.
Really quick, what we did, since we didn't meet in December, we included on your packet both reports. I will give you the updated one for December. For November, we did have a reduction, but again, in November, we had an increase of 11 U-turns for a total of 128 combined with World Trade in Colombia. Again, we're still targeting and doing our due diligence with, having the posts on Facebook, social media, having, educating the clients as well. We do have a difference of $761.50 increase compared to November and December. And we're working diligently with our marketing person again to address these issues. And, again, we're also waiting for this toll bridge study, and then we will target the U-turns. Again, we did provide an analysis report to management, and we provided recommendations on how to address this. Once we're done with that, we'll bring that to you all, so you can give us your input in order to address the U-turns. So we did see a decrease in November, with it is slightly increased by 11 U-turns in December. So we're trying as much as we can to educate our clients as well. You see on your reports is the breakdown for both 115 for World Trade and 108 for your Colombia Bridge. We did see an increase on your auto replenish, meaning we have more companies that are registering for the auto replenish in the accounts, so that's good. You have your monthly reports for World Trade expansion in Colombia. I don't want to be repetitive. It's the same information that we had from our consultants from Sid and Melissa on those reports. We are already getting those reports from Colombia as well for the expansion monthly, and then we provided that on the reports on the packet that we sent on Friday. Any questions?
Nope. Nope.
For the other business, I just wanted to bring you an update on the empty truck signage for I-69 update. Again, like I mentioned at the last meeting in November, on our end, on the city side, we're done with all the signage on the empties. On TxDOT, we were back and forth, and we were they recommended for us to fill out a donation agreement. And I know TxDOT takes like 2 to 3 months to review through their legal side. I have been sending emails every week on a status. We finally got an email on December 17th from TxDOT saying that now they're not going to go through a donation agreement. They will go through an AFA, which is called Advanced Funding Agreement. It's still under review on TxDOT. I know they are ready to install, and they had a contractor, but we need to see how the Advanced Funding Agreement was written in order to share it with their legal. But they're ready with a contractor, and they told us it will cost like $24,000, and they're ready to install. I cannot pay upfront. You know, we need an agreement first, reviewed by legal, before we proceed with installation. But they were ready to install. And of course, we will be maintaining those signs in the gantry on the TxDOT side, but we're pending that advanced funding agreement. We cannot pay upfront to install them without following procurement. So I'm waiting on a response on that. On the proposed driveway for your World Trade import lot update, engineering gave us an update. The surveyors took the GPS points of the existing utilities, and they will continue with the design this coming week for that import lot for the road. And last one.
There's no timeline for that?
No, but we'll get to one. I'll get to a time. Last one, update on Bridge Department monthly meetings with associations. I know that was brought up. I know Sid mentioned it, we have been meeting with, our Mexican counterparts in Nuevo León and Tamaulipas monthly. They're requesting, and through the mayor, they're requesting for us to provide a monthly update. So we are meeting every second Monday of the month. In the morning with a Colombia expansion update, and in the afternoon with Tamaulipas. Either, we started meeting in person, then virtual, so we will alternating in person and virtual. So this is, was recommended, so they wanted an update for the reasons, you know, that our consultants had, mentioned. They wanna ensure that we coordinate the construction, so we're meeting monthly. I just wanted to bring that up.
Are we
I
all
know you were
invited?
present at the
Are we all invited or not everybody?
This is usually coordinated by the mayor, you know, and, anyone that they wanna invite. All that bridge provides is the place, you know, and, we work with, sending the invites and all that stuff.
Going on to the next schedule, next meeting before you're going, there was an important discussion that was done on Friday. Obviously Jerry was able to attend in, the workshop. I know that we couldn't bring it up for this agenda because of short time frame. I know we plan on bringing it up for the next meeting because in review of the information that's provided, there's a lot, personally, I feel there's a lot of discrepancies and a lot of information that was accurately provided. So looking forward to putting that on the agenda as well, because it's very important, and I really feel that it's something that we're gonna be, I have feeling all attending as well, so to have our discussions and our point of view expressed. Commissioner Mejia, yes.
Will we be able to review that before it goes to council?
Yes, that is
Yes.
that was the directive at the meeting,
Okay.
that the item was gonna be sent to the port of entry, and then, you know, and it's something that's, I believe it's lengthy. I don't believe we should rush and give an answer
Agreed.
on the next meeting. It's a lot of data, and there's a lot of questions, and I believe we should take at least a month to go over the stuff and have a recommendation within, in my opinion, by the following. It's not that simple. I was here at the workshop, and there is a lot of information that
There's
we
40
need to.
pages, and I reviewed, I went through each one, and I just did exercise, and there's just a lot of discrepancies, and a lot of it's a selling point.
Yes.
A lot of it's selling just, you know, we are this, we are that, and on top of that, you know, we wanna charge more than all the other ports, you know, hey, there's just some discussion that we're gonna have, but I know it's not on the agenda right now, but just that there's something to review and food for thought for the next meetings.
Can you email everybody the presentation to the committee?
Yeah, that one was, we will ask our finance department if we can share it, of
So
course.
that we can start.
But there's gonna be some adjustments according to
Yes.
council, so once you get the adjustments, can you email that one to us as well, so we can review it? But in the meantime, if you wanna take a look at it, it's very interesting and very detailed, so.
Would that be something that finance would come and present to us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll add it to the next agenda.
If I can add an item on other business, we're gonna email everyone on this committee. Tomorrow morning, we're hosting a CTPAC conference once again with CVP on February 18th in the morning. We'll send you guys an email with the invitation. Everybody's welcome. There is no cost to attend this meeting. It's part of what the association is doing, you know, to work hand in hand with the new CTPAT office here in Laredo. So
Thanks, Jerry.
we'll email you the information with the link to register, et cetera.
Appreciate that. And also, as you were saying earlier, there's three, if we can have the city management, because I know it's dealing with three agencies. The radio bridge system, the city manager, the finance department, and the budget department. So all four of you guys are having discussions, so you can kind of have explanation if we're able to get our discussion points talking during that time frame. So.
Yeah, because the last thing we want is to tell the finance guy something and say, he say,
Well, it's a budget guy. We wanna have everybody here together, we can.
No, we will invite him, so
Thank
they
you.
can do that presentation.
But, and we'll have it in a formal agenda item, so we can have that discussion on this one.
We will,
In
work
the
on the
part-time
agenda item and we'll send it to you all for review.
Appreciate that. And also, now we can schedule the next meeting. I guess we have it scheduled for the 2/18, which will be on the Ash Wednesday. We all good in agreement with that? 2/18? All right, next meeting will be 2/18. Motion adjourned?
wait.
Do we have to schedule the meeting?
It's every third Wednesday of the month.
It's gonna be fixed date, right?
Well, we haven't, like was mentioned earlier, it's generated on the third Wednesday, so that's why I'm going off the third Wednesday right now. And then we all agree with the 18th then. The only thing is Ash Wednesday, so just, everybody, doesn't make a difference.
Más que todos lleguen.
I think, I mean,
No,
go to church at 8 a.m.
Vamos a dar cuenta.
It's not consecutive, so you guys better not miss.
It's also the first day of Ramadan, so.
Yeah, so we all agree though, right, 18? All in favor? Okay, good. All right, motion adjourned? Anybody?
Second.
No, who's the motion? Who's the first?
Oh,
Okay.
motion
Thanks, Joe.
adjourned.
All right. All in favor, all agree?
Aye.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you all.